According to the Australian Hairdressing Council, an estimated 86 million people a year visit hair salons. That's a lot of haircuts and shampoos. On an annual basis, hair salons throw out about 2.3 million kilos of waste. And that's not all. An estimated 400,000 kilograms of hair is cut off every year. And until recently, that all ended up in landfill. However, a new scheme called Sustainable Salons is changing that by enabling hair salons to recycle hair, packaging, foil and chemicals. I spoke to Paul Frasca, the owner-director of Sustainable Salons, and Leanne Sutherland, the owner of Tony and Guy Newtown, to find out more about the ways that salons can reduce waste and save money. Frasca, thanks for coming on Smart Money. Now, for people who aren't familiar with your company, what is Sustainable Salons?
Look, Sustainable Salons Australia is a resource recovery business specific to the hairdressing industry. We reward all of our salons for being part of the program, and 100% of all the waste that we actually collect goes into either a charitable or a local community organisation.
Now, you mentioned the word waste there. Obviously, hair salons generate a lot of waste. How much?
Oh, look, it's huge. The Australian hairdressing industry goes through about 1.2 million kilos of waste each year. Around about 68% of the waste bin is metals. You know, aluminium foil makes up just over 1 million kilos of our waste bin.
So, for the salons who are joining Sustainable Salons, how do they actually benefit from that?
Oh, look, there's huge benefits. When a salon actually be part of Sustainable Salons, they really get to be part not only of a community within our industry, but their clients now get to be part of this journey too. Because each part of the waste, the hair that even comes off the head, goes into organisations that really benefits not only, you know, our country, but also society.
Now, I'm keen to know more about that because I didn't realise hair could be recycled. So can you take us through what do you do with the hair that you collect?
Oh, look, hair is a very interesting resource, I like to call it, because it's not a waste product. For many years, we just threw it away. But hair actually can be a benefit. And let me just show you something. For example, with our hair bin that I have right next to me, is that...
Look, this is the hair you're actually getting.
Look, this is your hair that gets cut off every day, right? So the hair gets cut off. Look, most people know that it can be used within compost, you know, your standard composting. And also we're going to have Sydney University being part of a program next year to actually studying hair. But one thing that can actually be used for today is actually this. What you're looking at here is a hair boom. Now, a hair boom is actually something that cleans up oil spills. For nearly 15 years now, hair booms have been made to clean up oil spills, and in America, during the BP oil spill, this played a huge role in local communities along the foreshores in cleaning up the oil spill along, you know, their shore.
Now, I notice here you've got ponytails. Now, what are you doing with those?
Oh, yeah, look, with the ponytails, this is a great program. Basically, we've become the largest collector now of ponytails. We support the Variety charity. Now, with our ponytails, they get collected. They will go to children with alopecia. They'll also go to children with cancer. And we're also starting to collect for adults, because there is no charity for adults. And we know how important this is now, that adults also need hair for their wigs when basically, you know, they're needing a wig made, especially when you're coming out of an illness or
like
something
cancer
like that.
treatment or something like that.
Exactly.
Well, that's a fantastic thing. So good on you for doing that.
No.
Now, let's take us through the other recycling bins that, you know, you've got here. What are you actually collecting from salons?
So we take hair. We also take all their paper waste, pretty much everything. There's nothing that we don't take. Some of the only things really that we can't take are mixed paper products. We work with a company called Lombos Recycling, which actually then gives us a donation for all of the paper that we give them, and all that money ends up going into our charities. And let me explain one of those, because with the metals bin, actually for every kilo that we collect, we get anywhere between 40 to 80 cents a kilo. Now, for every $1 that we collect, we can actually feed 2 homeless people by giving that money to Oz Harvest. So it's a really fantastic program.
And then the plastic bottles?
Oh, look, plastic, you know, plastic, I tell everyone today, all plastic is recyclable as long as it's separated. So we make sure the salons separate their plastic, and then we get that to a company called Plastics Forest, who's an award-winning company here in Australia that's actually now starting to make very unique products out of the plastic.
Now, the one thing I associate, you know, with hair salons is a lot of chemicals. So what do you do with the chemical waste?
Oh, it's really unique. We work with a company called Solvecchio. Now, we get our salons to collect their chemical waste, their excess chemical waste, I should say, inside a special bucket. Those buckets are collected through a swap-and-go system, and then we get those chemicals to Solvecchio, which then turns that back into water that gets sold back into manufacturing.
And final question, how do people actually join Sustainable Salons? If someone has got a salon right now, they're watching us, how do they get on board?
Oh, look, by getting on board is really just contacting us and letting us know that you're interested in such a program for your salon by simply looking us up online, www.sustainablesalonsaustralia.com.